Are we recording?
Are we good?
Good to go.
Okay, Dennis, take over.
Good evening. I'm Dennis Adams, Chair of the Brighton Conservation Board. And this is our meeting for this evening. Welcome to all of you who are watching from home or wherever you might be remotely. Let me introduce our Vice Chair, Karen Berger. Just, wave so we know you're there. And our Secretary, Rick DiStefano, and board members Susan Riblett, Mitchell Nellis, George Smith, David Bryden, and also councilperson Christine Corrado, who is with us tonight. So we'll get started. First, I assume all of you have seen the minutes, and I'll call for a vote on approval of the minutes. Any amendments? Good. All in favor? All right, the minutes are accepted. We have no presentations. We will get to our tree reviews. And our main project for this evening, actually the only one I have here, is 4P02-21, application 2290 East Avenue Properties, site plan modification to construct an accessible ramp to an existing carriage house and add 8 parking spaces on property at 2300 East Avenue.
Who do we have in the audience to speak to that, please?
You have Rebecca Glitch with BME Associates.
All right, Rebecca, go ahead.
All right. So I'm representing the owner tonight of the property, East Avenue Properties LLC. And we've submitted a modified site plan application to the town for 2300 East Ave. And the proposals for a new ADA accessible ramp for the carriage house in the rear of the property. So that ramp will be constructed over what is mostly impervious surfaces right now in the rear and there, and as well as 8 additional parking spaces, as you can see shaded on the plan, more towards the front of the property along East Ave. That's closer to 2300 East Ave. So 2 of those parking spaces will be relocated ADA accessible spaces, which puts those spaces closer to the ADA route and the elevator within 2300 there. We'll also be proposing some sidewalk to connect the spaces to the existing sidewalk network. Both of these improvements to the site, we're not calling for any tree removal, and our disturbance is under about 1/10 of an acre. We're adding approximately little under 2,000 square feet of new impervious area. We're still well under our maximum impervious cover that's allowed out here for the district. And, all our drainage patterns will remain the same as they are today. We've included with our application to the planning board our site plan, as you can see here, and some details, as well as a rendering of the carriage house. Yep. And I believe there's another image of the ramp itself and some steps. I think it was included after this application.
We might not have that.
Might not have it, on here. Right. Yeah, but it's so the ramp will be along the east side, and then there's also some steps. Yeah. As you can see there. And we've also made an application to the Historic Preservation Committee for their review. So we'll be on that agenda. So I think if there's any questions or comments, happy to answer.
Anyone?
Rebecca, there's a pretty good grade change in that where the parking spaces are going. Can you just talk a little bit about that? What you're proposing to do in that area?
Yeah, so we, we want to obviously meet flush with the existing pavement there, and then cut into that hill. We want to make sure we maintain, accessible slopes, so 2% slopes, and so we can get to that ADA route. We've provided some erosion control measures, some notes on our detail sheet, seed and make sure it's stabilized, and any filter fabric around the existing inlets to maintain sediment control there.
So you're not proposing any type of retaining wall or anything?
No,
Just gonna
nope.
grade it to meet slope there.
Yep, I think those are 3-on-1 slopes. They're 1-foot contours there. So, yep.
Rebecca,
Yes.
to introduce myself, I'm Troy Beckwith with Carrollboro Properties. I'm the superintendent of building and grounds. I don't know if any of you people have been at the site, but like Rebecca just mentioned with the grade, there's a slope there. It's pretty much going to remain. It's just going to move back. So it'll still be all mowable grass and pretty much look where like it does now. It's just going to be pushed back.
Oh, this is David. I had a question. What will the carriage house be used for?
Actually, we don't have a tenant yet.
I see.
The building right now out front is actually addressed as 2300 as well, Tree of Hope. They're actually looking at it as we speak right now, but we don't have a signed lease with anybody at this point.
Mhm. Well, the proposal looks very attractive. Certainly an improvement
It's
over
come
the
along.
existing.
We're framing, so.
Yeah.
Currently, or the use of that property is currently, the carriage house is currently a residential structure, correct?
It was, there was 3 one-bedroom apartments in there when we took the property over, which was in dire strait of some repairs, so. And we thought it would be best to turn it into the office because there really isn't a lot of lawn there for people who would, people that rent it with like some lawns and stuff, and there's really not a lot of privacy with the, all the buildings out front there that we have, so.
With the work that you're doing on the parking lot and all of the other really attractive improvements, is there an opportunity to include bicycle parking anywhere on the property?
Rebecca, what do you think?
It, definitely could take it under consideration. I'm sure there is.
Yeah,
With the
good.
bike lanes on East Avenue now, and with it being close to residential neighborhoods, and considering some of the clientele for Tree of Hope in particular, the option to bike there and have secure parking would be right in line with the town plan and a real asset to the property, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure we can make, I'm sure Rebecca can get something figured in there where to put a small, nice, something that fits in with the character of the railings and stuff, a nice little bike rack, so for sure.
Great.
We might even be able to do it right there in that one sidewalk area there, Rebecca, where you got to
That's
come.
kind of what, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Yep.
Yep.
Anyone else? Well, I guess that is our only comment then,
Great.
is to consider a bicycle rack. And we have some usual boilerplate considerations also.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So I guess that's it then for this one, right?
Mhm.
Now, do we have an EMC report this week? Nope. Green report? Nope.
I'll just, I will just do
Go
a
ahead, Karen,
public
please.
service announcement, something that on Mitch's behalf, he's organized an event at the Treetown Cafe on April 24th, where Color Bright and Green will be selling seed packets and trees that Mitch has been raising. And you can come support the cafe and come support Color Bright and Green. So that's 4 to 7 on Saturday, April 24th. Is there
Thanks,
anything else you'd add?
Nope, that's good.
Okay.
Be a great event.
All right, thank you. New business, old business. All right, the Tree Council. I would support the arborist recommendation. How about you, Karen? Yeah, the tree does
Yes.
look pretty bad.
Yep.
I have one comment. I just remember the EMC report. There was a meeting last month. Sorry, I was distracted by something here. The big issue was the spotted lanternfly coming up, and that the Cornell Cooperative Extension and other organizations are asking people to keep the lookout for it, and also other invasive species relating to the spread of the oak fungus.
Yeah.
And be careful about when we're pruning our oaks, because that's a big determining factor on whether or not it spreads or not. And I wish I had the information on when to prune it, but just I think we can be careful about when you prune your oaks, because it allows the damage to happen to the oaks. And also wondering if anybody could attend next week's meeting. I have a busy week and I didn't know if anybody was available to attend on our behalf. So it's Wednesday at 4 o'clock. If no one can, I can make it work. I just didn't know if anyone was interested. They usually cover some interesting stuff.
Okay.
They're pretty tight with the time, 4 to 5.
Is that the EMC or the green?
Yeah, the EMC. I think you went to one before, Dave.
Yeah.
Is anybody available to go, or?
I think I can, if you send me the information about it. So this is
Okay.
the 21st at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, I'll communicate with you, Karen. We'll see if we can work it out. Thanks.
Okay, sounds good. Sure.
All right, thank you, Karen. As I recall, the problem with the oak fungus is related to stink bugs. And so the time to prune is when we don't have stink bugs. Do you,
And
yes,
when is that?
the colder, the better.
Need your time machine for that one. You might need that also for the lanternfly. I think I saw one in my yard this past weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we may have missed the window of opportunity, those of us who have oaks in need of trimming. I have personally found it difficult to find anyone who is staffed up again and doesn't have a serious backlog of work. All right.
Well, I have one thing that quick PowerPoint to show you the tree planting, the first of the 4
Please,
Arbor Day
George.
tree plantings.
Go ahead.
I'm not in control of it, but if Brad or Rick could just click through it. It's just pictures. It goes fast. It's nothing. You just have to advance it manually. But we had nice turnout, and planted up about 70 trees.
Oh.
Half of
Oh,
which-
where did you guys get the trees? You had a nice eclectic mix.
Yeah, the trees were from Tony Conti of Brighton Rotary purchased the trees. So they were purchased through the Arbor Day Foundation.
Oh, okay, Arbor, okay.
So
Yeah, those look like some really cool trees. I should go through them as well. I like the variety you guys had.
yeah, and then we'll be planting again, actually the next 3 weekends, probably the next 3 Saturdays. We'll see how the weather holds.
Very good, George. Thank you.
It's fun.
We have any other business for the evening?
I'm just curious, George, since you are in tree mode, how are things going with the tree inventory?
I sent Becky Cotter a revised, whatever she uses for her courses. I haven't followed up on it. I was going to do that sometime the next week or two. But that would then be, the training for that would be the first, not May 1st, but the next, again, it would be like at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, May 8th and May 13th. So at that point, we'll get some people trained up and get some of the equipment in people's hands and get started. And I have no idea at this point what the story is going to be related to school, but I'm going to get I might end up doing more of that than I originally thought would be possible through, with my students, because that same time frame, I teach AP courses, and both my courses have their AP exams on Friday, May 14th. So after that, we'll have a fair amount of time. And that was one of the things I wanted to do with the kids. The other thing I was planning on doing with them is just some environmental sampling related to heat island effect and light intensity and stuff like that. It turns out that if you're trying to get a sense for what's going on in your community, you have to do that. You have to do repeat measurements because the conditions vary, of course, on a daily basis or even a time of day basis. So it's I've messed around with that a little bit, and it can be loaded into GIS, so it can be utilized by the town as well for planning purposes. But that's going to be even more experimental, I suppose you'd say, than the tree inventory. I mean, the tree inventory, we actually have a real plan for how to do it, but the other, I'm still sort of.
Are you looking to solicit help from more people? I know I've had some people ask if they could help out. I don't know how big you wanted it to go with as far as counting the trees.
With the tree inventory?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it would be great. The more help we could get, the better. At some point, the question is how many people. What does it take to sort of train the people and how to do it? Which is not that elaborate, but it's my hope that if we, once we actually get started, that the more of us that know what to do can train, so you train somebody else, type of thing. Then the question as far as the materials for doing it, the tree sticks and length of rope of the right length, it's not expensive, but at this point I think I have 30 or 35 sets of materials. You loan stuff out and it comes back eventually. People don't keep the stuff forever, but the problem is having enough so that you can sort of freely loan it out to whoever wants it, and then still have enough so you don't have to turn people away. That's always a bit of a guessing game. Mm-hmm. But the numbers for the courses through Brighton Rec, I think I capped them out at like 10 or 12 people. Although you might get families coming, so that's okay. But 10 or 12 parties essentially, and I have enough materials for that plus a few left over. Great.
Did you log the 70 new trees into the inventory?
No, not at all. I'm not even sure what got planted where. That's a whole separate thing. There's so many trees. There's so much work to be done.
It is a pretty monumental project, and I'm in awe that there's even a way to methodically and incrementally get ourselves going on it. So I'm hugely appreciative of what you're doing to make this come together.
Yeah, well, just so everybody understands, the tree planting in the parks, we want to keep track of what's planted, and we can go back and check, but that's just an opportunity to get people out there and plant trees. But the inventory is much more to get enough of a real start on the town street trees
Yeah.
to be able to say, you know, that's the first question that comes up if you're looking for any sort of external funding related to any of these sorts of things, anything from the bike paths, you know, stuff to, you know, financial assistance with, you know, hiring people to do part-time stuff on further tree inventory type work is you have to have a tree inventory. We at this point, we have nothing. So, you know, a partial one is still can be offered up as, you know, sort of like preliminary data, sort of proof of concept type of thing. So, yeah, so what's over in the parks is interesting and worthwhile, but that's very secondary as far as keeping track of those.
Right. Great, thank you.
Yeah, George, I just want to say, it's not, we do have a tree inventory. It's just a very old tree inventory.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean,
That's the problem.
yeah, no, I've seen it. I've looked at it.
Yeah, and so that we do have something. We have something to start with, but unfortunately, it was done back when we did the forestry plan, which was probably in the mid 2000s now. So that original tree inventory is probably 15 years old.
Yeah, yeah. No, the unfortunate problem is that, you know, if you don't have a GIS-based tree inventory,
Mhm.
you ain't
Right.
got.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So that's yeah, yeah. And not to disparage the fact that, you know, that others have come before us and done lots of.
No,
the
I know
stuff.
you did. I know you weren't.
Yeah, it's just not up to date in the way that it needs to be. It's
Right. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
getting there. There's always something, as you know.
Any more business tonight? Well, then I will thank you all for the time and effort you put in. And we have an adjournment. Will you second? All right.
Our next meeting will be May 11th. Hopefully everybody will join us.
We'll see you then.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks a
You all,
lot.
everybody.
Fair enough.
Good night,
Aye.
everyone.